Hey everyone, how are we doing? My name is Tim Pongras and this is Focus on Detailing. Now, what happens when you mix Australian ingenuity with a love of car detailing? Well, you get Bowden's Own. And in the same way, what happens when you grab a random Australian with the same love of car detailing products and give them a camera? Well, hopefully you get a half decent video. We all know I'm a supporter of Aussie-made products, being an Aussie myself, and you may remember back in 2018 I've actually used some leather care products from Bowden's Own, both Leather Love and Leather Guard, but I've been pleasantly surprised to find out they've upgraded the Leather Love formula. Now I'm going to be using this on the same car, same leather, but a new concoction, just without Leather Guard this time, to see how well this stands on its own, and I'm pretty excited to find out. So without further ado, let's get into it.
The first car up for this leather care spray will be the ever so reliable 335i. It's been a while since the leather was treated, so this should be a good test. As always, the first thing we need to do is get the areas ready, specifically speaking in this case, a thorough vacuuming. Pay particular attention to the cracks and crevices, as this will reduce the chances of unbinding or damaging the stitching during the agitating stages later. Added bonus too if you have access to an air compressor. Blow out all the seams, then vacuum up and dispose of whatever's brought out. Taking your time to clean and care for your leather properly can make the world of difference with the overall look of the interior of your car. Once the vacuuming is complete, we can jump straight into using Leather Love, but not before taping off an area to see just how well its cleaning is side by side. Grabbing several clean towels and a few brushes for the next step. The foaming trigger helped to prevent overspray, but even so, I aimed for the brush, then began scrubbing. Straight off the bat, it was going to be hard to compete with the original formula, as that had a pleasant smell to it and made climbing into a freshly treated leather interior a great experience. This new Leather Love mix seems to be about the same. As soon as I sprayed it into the brush, I noticed that subtle leathery scent. Hard to distinguish an exact fragrance, but it was faintly sweet and complements the leather smell, rather enhancing the rich leather interior. Once I was content that I had scrubbed enough, I wiped up the foamy excess and with it, hopefully the mucky grime. The joys of using white towels is we can see exactly how dirty the leather is. And the 50-50 comparison also allows us to see how the leather could look all cleaned up compared to its dirty counterpart. Not that my leather is overly dirty, but there was still a preferred side. With this in mind, I was keen to continue with the rest. This leather is only getting older, and with this becomes a more delicate surface. It's all well and good to grab a potent cleaner that can dispose of the muck buildup, but it has to be done safely. You have to be careful that you're removing the undesirable film and not the leather dye, as that could end in tears. And from what I'm doing here, this is working very effectively and safely. The joys of this product is that it's also protecting the leather too. Think of it as hydrating the skin, although this skin isn't alive anymore and gets sat on constantly. So don't be scared to really look after and care for it. Areas like the center console and side bolsters can have Leather Love applied multiple times to ensure that it's soaking up and getting all the goodness from this leather product. For larger surfaces, I could switch to this cheeky little scrubber from Aquatouch. It's perfect to work in the spray and scrub away the embedded mess with ease. To get the most out of Leather Love, you can also come back and apply it with an applicator pad in a massaging fashion. This is introducing the more protective side of things, and after it, you can follow with a quick wipe from a microfiber towel. But depending on how desperate your leather was for nourishment, it may likely not even need it, as it will probably already be soaked up. Now, as I said, my leather isn't really that bad, and since Bowden's have outlined they've boosted the cleaning power, I think we need to test that. So bring on the next car, a high kilometer Land Cruiser with grubby off-color greasy leather. Same deal as before, a good vacuum followed by the tape test. Circular, backwards, forwards, side to side, don't be scared to get in and all around those surfaces. In this case, Realistically, these seats could do with a heavier cleaner, usually an all-purpose cleaner to break down the heavy grime. But this still will hopefully be a quick and effective way to treat your leather to a good clean and a protected finish. Now, just like before, the residue was wiped up and with it the lifted mess. Side by side, I wouldn't be complaining about that for a quick tidy up, feeling and looking better. Now the joys of this is that I can run through the whole interior, cleaning and protecting in one simple sweep. Yes, it could have possibly gone with an all-purpose cleaner like I said before, but when the customer hadn't even asked for leather treatment, rather a quick vacuum and tidy up, this process fits the bill perfectly just for that little bit extra. All in all, the results were great, but there may be some out there saying these seats still aren't dirty enough. But that's okay because I've got that covered too. This seat belongs to a 1959 Mercedes 220S, not having been used for over 30 plus years. First of all, let me be clear, this treatment is not enough for this seat. It's likely covered in germs, though luckily not mold. Too much for this treatment, but that won't stop me from testing its power to clean the surface the best it can. This is our new project car, and I think a good way to start a project is with a good clean, so we can actually sit in it at least. These seats will be removed in the future and the whole interior has already been treated to several flushes with an ozone generator, but that quite literally hasn't scratched the surface. Now after wiping up the mess, I found that my brush was going to be a one-trick wonder per seat. It was gross, but from a surface level clean, it did a fantastic job. And this only got me more keen to see how the rest of this interior will be coming up, as those seats aren't really in bad condition at all, but that's for another video. So let's break it down, starting with what it does well. It's got you covered for a versatile, safe and easy to use leather cleaning product, with the ability to condition without leaving behind a gross greasy finish. Rather, leather that smells great, feels soft and protected. The pH neutral mix has been boosted in cleaning power from the previous Leather Love product. Great for grimy leather that's in need of a good clean, and also to take on those newer leather seats that are in need of a good nourishment and some added protection. It's also free of the tacky and harmful silicons, waxes, solvents and oils that can damage and prevent leather from breathing. But where is it lacking? Well, what makes it great also plays into a negative, if you will. This product does not supersede a leather cleaner, rather it should be in its own category. It works perfectly to cater to loved leather and even some of the dirtiest stuff as you've seen through this video. But if you have dry and cracked seats, it will struggle to give it that likely deeper clean and nourishment that's needed. It won't hurt to try, but there's a reason as to why there's dedicated cleaners and conditioners, and at some points they really need to go in for reconditioning. Also, the joys of a spray that both cleans and protects is that the product can be soaked or dried up before properly cleaning an area. This isn't overly bad, this just ensures that you're keeping your cleaning area to a smaller spot. Not so much cons as they are things to be wary of. I still 100% recommend this product, coming in at a price of around $28. It's a perfect match for those enthusiasts that want to give their leather that clean and conditioning treatment in one hit, helping to prevent damage from UV and fading, helping to create a matte finish over the alternative slippery leather. This in turn will help reducing sliding and scratching over the seats, as well as reducing that staticky buildup of dust and lint that sticks to it. So all in all, it's great in its own right. Doesn't take away from separate cleaners and conditioners, but works perfectly as a standalone leather cleaning and conditioning spray. If you wanted added protection and nourishment after finishing the job with Leather Love, Bowden's Own do indeed have you covered in that regard too, with their ever so popular Leather Guard. Keep some in your car with a towel to simply wipe over high wearing areas, and you'll be setting up your interior for success. No, I'm not paid by Bowden's Own to say these positive things. If there's a product out there that works well, I'll say that it works well, and if it doesn't, I'll make sure to say that it doesn't too. Leather Love is more directed to modern top-coated seats, which is pretty well everywhere. Seats like in the 1959 Mercedes might need some more cleaning with a dedicated conditioning balm, but still super happy with the performance from today's work. Question is, has this revised formula outperformed the previous mix? I'd say yes, and I've used this many times already, over many different types of leather. From truck seats to immaculate AMG seats, it does exactly what it's created for. And on that positive note, that'll do for this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Now we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so let's make it happen. Fantastic to think that this channel has come this far from all of you. So take care and I'll catch you all later.